In this video, I'm gonna show you how we can take a photo shot in studio background and transform it into a really good looking photo manipulation. So let's get started. Hey, what's up guys, Dhruval here back with another video, and as you can see this is the final output and this is the original photograph. So as you can see, we're also gonna add these chains. So for this tutorial I'm gonna use this photo as a model, this photo for the background, and we will use this PNG file of the chain, so you don't have to cut it out. That's a big relief. And for the model photo, now this is the original photo, and as you can see there is a lot of details in there, little details. So there is only one option, pen tool. Now it took me around like half hour or maybe 45-50 hour, I don't know man, but it took a lot of time to cut out this photo and it's really complex. So if you don't know how to use pen tool, I would just simply say use different image, because this quick selection tool just doesn't work at all on this photo. So now let's focus on the background. So here is the background, and now I'm gonna press Ctrl A to select, Ctrl C to copy. I will come back here and then Ctrl V, paste it here. Now I will put this under model so it's behind her, and then press Ctrl T, and then I will hold my shift key to make it bigger, like that. Let's look at the final output. So the pipe is somewhere around here, as you can see. So I'm gonna put this thing around here, like that. And now let's make this bigger. Hold my shift key, make it bigger, and put the pipe, make it a little bit more bigger, like that. Yeah, that looks awesome. And then go and confirm it. Now as you can see there is this little annoying pipe that I want to get rid of. So what I will simply do is go and select my clone tool from here. You can also press S key for shortcut, and make sure that you have selected current layer. Then I will just go and zoom in here, as you can see, and let's go, and I'm gonna hold my Alt key and I will click here, and then I will start painting. Now my brush is really small, so I will use my bracket key to make it bigger. Then I will again Alt click here, and let's go and paint it. Take your time and make sure that it doesn't look repetitive or something like that. Then let's go and select a sample from here and remove that. Then again I will click from here and remove it, just like that, and remove it from here. Now the background looks much better. Now it's time to add in some depth, and to do that I will right click and convert it to a smart object. Then I will go to my filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I will apply 6 pixels. Now it's not a fixed number. If your image is different, try different number. And 6 is because I don't want it to look fake, because this much of depth of field, this screams that I'm fake. So try to keep it realistic, and 6 looks good. And now it's time to match some colors. So it's a little trick that I use a lot of time. So to do that, you have a layer mask, right? Because you cut out the image. Then you hold down your control key and you click on your layer mask, like that. So it will make a selection of the model. Now you select your background layer, meanwhile selection is on. Then you press Ctrl J. So now if I turn both of these things off, as you can see it made a cutout from the background with shape of model. So now let's turn both of this on, and now I will put this cutout on top, and then you go to filter, blur, and then you select average. So it will make a median color of entire cutout. Then you will go and change the blending mode to soft light. So now it will match the color of the background and environment much better. And since the lighting is here, she will be slightly darker. I'm preparing the image because I'm gonna apply HDR. So light is brighter here, so she will be darker. So to make her look slightly darker, I will again hold my control key and click on this layer mask. So we have selection already ready. Then I will go to my adjustment layers, and there I will go and select hue saturation. So as you can see, it already has layer mask. We don't have to do any hard work. And then I will go and decrease my lightness a little bit. somewhere around 23, 22, and I will also kill in the saturation because it's way too saturated. So yeah, I think 19, 20 looks good. 22, 22 works great. So the basic color matching and lighting is ready. Now let's add in the chain. So let's go, we don't need this one, so let's go and close it. So here are the chains that I found on deviantart.com. So again, I'm gonna press Ctrl A, Ctrl C to copy it, go back here and paste it. And as you can see, select your move tool and move it around. Now you gotta press Ctrl T, hold your shift key, and if it's really big, just scroll out and make it smaller so you can see. And let's make it smaller a little bit, a touch more. Yeah, somewhere around here it looks really nice. Let's go and confirm it. I might adjust it a little bit here. So yeah, that looks great. And we don't need this one, so I'm just gonna simply get my eraser tool, make it bigger using my bracket keys, and simply go and just erase it out. So yeah, that's gone. And also I will zoom in, and as you can see, there's this cutout due to it being a PNG file. So what I will do is make my eraser really small, and then I will go and erase it in the shape of this chain. Now I will recommend using layer mask if you know how to use it, because that would be much more reliable. So also go and remove it from this inner portion, like that. Take your time and be accurate, okay? Don't rush things, because that's the real secret of good manipulation. So as you can see, now that looks nice, and it will work out because now we are going to apply Gaussian blur. We will apply the blur because they are in foreground, so when we make them blurry, there will be depth. So let me show you. Right click and select convert to smart object. Then I will go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. My number is 16. So as you can see, now that looks nice, and that gap that is completely invisible, so that's a big relief. And then go and confirm it. So now as you can see, she is behind the chains and it creates this really cool depth. Now it's time to make the surroundings a little bit darker. So to do that, I will go and create a new adjustment layer, and select levels. I will increase my midtones, sorry, make them slightly darker, and also increase my highlights a little bit, so we have nice balance in contrast, nothing else. So that looks nice, and that's good. Now I'm gonna remove it from the rest of the image. So select your brush tool, because whenever you paint on layer mask, you have to use brush tool, not eraser. So I'm gonna paint with black color to remove it where I don't need it, something like that. So now if you turn it on and off, as you can see, it is only in the surrounding. And now you can make it intense so that it looks much more visible. So now you can play around as much as you want. Yeah, that's nice. And now I'm again gonna right click and make sure my hardness is 0%. So that was the mistake we made. Hardness has to be 0%, otherwise transition won't be smoother. So select your mask again, and now let's go and fade it out really nicely, as you can see. Good. And if you want to bring it back in some area, just paint with white color, as you can see here. Switch between using X key. So I'm gonna paint with white color where I want to bring it back a little bit, and then I will remove it from the glow a little bit. So that is perfect. Now I'm gonna create another adjustment layer, and then I will select curves. And in the curves, first of all, I will make the overall image slightly brighter because it went way too on the darker side. So that looks nice, and good. Then I will go to my blues, and there I will add a touch of yellow. Don't overdo it, okay? It's very tempting to do it, but control yourself. And yeah, that looks really nice. So if I turn it on and off, now we have this really good yellowish tint all over. Let's close it. So the basic layout is complete, with lighting and chains and everything. Now it's time to apply the HDR for that really rough look we want. So I will create a new blank layer. Then I will press Ctrl, Alt, Shift and E. So there will be a JPG of entire image inside the document. Then you right click and select it convert to smart object. Once it's converted to smart object, as you can see, like every time there's this little icon that shows it's a smart object. So you double click on this thumbnail, so it will say do you want to edit it, so go and simply hit OK. So it will open it in its own separate document. It is really important step, okay, don't skip it. So now it's in a completely different setup in a document. Then you go to image adjustment and then go to HDR toning. Now HDR toning will ask you that do you want to flatten this document eventually, yeah, now. So do you want to flatten it, say yes, because we don't have anything to lose, and hit yes. So as you can see at the current moment it looks really horrible. So first thing, we have problem, saturation is way too much, so I'm gonna go and make it 0. Then also I'm gonna go and control its radius a little bit and turn it down, but also make sure that if you don't overdo it, because if you kill the radius way too much it will start making the image blur and we actually need the details. So be careful with that, and then go and play around with the strength a little bit. Strength is even more important step, because if you overdo it it looks just awful and really bad. So this thing is really powerful, it gives you good output, but only if you use it carefully. So radius, I think, yeah, that's enough. Contrast, and in the strength, let's go and try smooth edges. Try for your image, if it works out good. This time here it's working, so I'm gonna use it. But if it doesn't, don't force yourself to use it. So I think yeah, that looks really good. And in the details, first of all increase and see how it looks. Now it's yuck, god, that's awful. So then you turn it down to your taste. So maybe 14%, that looks good. And then you can do everything separately, the shadows and highlights and things, but I didn't screw around because the natural was looking way good. And in the saturation, now I'm gonna go and start decreasing it a little, not too much though, okay. So I think -8% is good. And I think I didn't changed anything else too much, maybe cut down the vibrance a touch, and then increase the radius a bit. So that looks really nice, and I'm just gonna go and simply hit OK. So as you can see, now it has adapted the HDR toning. Now you might thinking this is in different document and this image is, this layer is in different document. So all you have to do is just go to file and select save. That's it. Now you can close this document, you don't need it. And now as you can see, that layer has been updated without flattening the document, and this is the best way to use your HDR toning. Now one important note is that in the beginning I forgot to tell you that I'm also going to use this Spark image, and it is also from DeviantArt, and the download link is in the description, so use it. So let's go and select this image, Ctrl A, Ctrl C, copy it, come back here, and then I will go and simply paste it, Ctrl V, and change its blending mode to, where is it, screen. So as you can see, we have this spark here. Now I don't want it on entire image, so I'm gonna press Ctrl T, hold my shift key and make it smaller and put it somewhere here. Yeah, where it's not very distracting, and looks also really good. So that looks really nice, and go and confirm it. So the spark there looks good, and you can erase some of it so it doesn't come out as a square. So let's go and simply take your eraser tool and erase some of it. Let's make it bigger, and from here and there let's erase it a touch, maybe like that, and then you can put it here like that, and that just looks good. And to make it more impactful, all you have to do is just make a duplicate of it, and now you can see it really nice. So that's really cool. And then just hold your control key and select both of the copies and then press Ctrl E. So as you can see, now they have merged that layer, and then again change the blending mode to screen. It is like double brightness but in single layer. So that's one important trick you can use. Now comes one of the most important step of this tutorial that will like change the entire look of the image. So we have prepared the image for this step specially. So I'm gonna create a new adjustment layer, and then I will go and select channel mixer. Now in the channel mixer, first of all you have to go to your red channel, because skin and the background and there's a lot of red things here. So first thing I will do is increase my red to up to 150%. Looks horrible, but wait for it, okay? Then I will go and start to kill off my greens to somewhere around 70%. So as you can see now, it is balancing out the things. The red increased, that looked good on skin and other portion, but where it was unnecessary, the green will remove it, like taking the slider this way. It's a little complicated thing to use, but if you practice you will get better. And now for the split tone, I'm also gonna need to use a bit of a blues. So don't overkill it, somewhere around 15 16, let's say 15 should be good. So as you can see, it has started taking shape, but it will take time. And here is one important step. This is called constant, and it will allow you how much do you want blue, and if you take it this way, how much do you want red. So I want to be on a bluer side a little bit, so this looks fine to me. And now we will go and move on to second channel, that is our green channel. So here I'm gonna add a little bit of a red, and then I will also add a little bit of a yellowish tone, like I will kill off my blues. And in the constant I will go and put it -2, so a little bit on the red side because the blue is getting really stronger. Then let's go to the blue channel. Now in the blue channel we don't need a lot of reds, so I'm gonna go and make it -65. So wait for it, okay? Then in the blue channel I'm gonna make my blues all the way to 200%. So as you can see, we increase the blue, we decrease the red, and it is balancing out things, and it is punching the tone. As you can see, the reds are getting better and better and blues are getting better and better. Now we can balance out things using green. So to do that, I'm gonna put -14 on the green. So in the constant, I'm gonna put it on the blue side because the red and yellow are getting a bit stronger. So I'm gonna add in +12, and there it is. Now let's look at the difference. This is your regular output, and this is with the channel mixer. So because we went into every channel and we created the distance between red and blue, the skin tones became really nice orangish, and the background became really nice and blue, and thus we created a really good separation with model and the background. So this is one really important thing I always wanted to cover about channel mixer. It's amazing tool, use it. Now it's time to create some of the vignetting. So create a new adjustment layer, and before creating the vignette, always make sure that you have your default colors, black and white. So create a new adjustment layer, the gradient, in the gradient radial, and I will make it reverse. Increase my scaling for really soft output, somewhere around that. Yeah, that looks really nice. And the gradient is always foreground to transparent for smoother transparency, and go and hit OK. And again I'm gonna go and hit OK. Then I will change its blending mode to, where is it, soft light, as you can see. And then I will decrease the opacity here to somewhere around 70%. So let's turn it on and off. Yeah, sides are really getting darker and looking really good. And due to channel mixer and HDR and everything, the color became way too saturated. So I'm gonna go and create a new adjustment layer, select my hue saturation and decrease the saturation a little bit. Don't make it something like this, black and white or something like that. Just keep in control, okay? Make it look as natural as possible. So somewhere around -22. Yeah, that looks good. And now also, because of too much processing, we lost a bit of a mid-tone contrast. So create a new adjustment layer and select levels, and I will add a touch mid-tone contrast and increase the highlights, because this portion here, the light, it will get really good benefit from using this step. And I will also decrease my mid-tones a little bit. So it just creates a really good contrast that will work really nice with heavy details. So take your time and adjust it. So let's turn it on and off, and as you can see now it suddenly looks much better. Maybe too strong on highlights, so let's control it a little bit here. Now it looks great, as you can see. And now comes the part that you will have to go through in every photo manipulation you do, and that is adjusting things. So for this one I will like to go to channel mixer, and in the green tones I think we went a little too far, so I would try to go for 90. Yeah, that's looking really nice. So now let's look at the difference for 90 and 100. So 100 is way too strong and 84 is way too less, so 90 worked out really good. So that is good. So now look at the difference, it's absolutely amazing. So also this is the final output. We are actually done with the video, and let's look at the after before. So I'm just gonna go and make a copy, put it here. So this is the original image that we started to work with, and this is the final output that we created, and everything, every single freaking thing is in different layer. So now you can go and change it and give it your special touch. And if you create any output, feel free to share on my Facebook page. I would happily look at it. So I really hope that you guys learned something from this video, and if you did, hit that like button so I can know. And if you have any kind of questions or suggestions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. Also, if you want to check out more photo manipulation tutorials, you can click on any of these boxes, and you can also subscribe to my channel, so every time I upload a new video you will get the update. Plus, clicking on that subscribe button will take you to my YouTube channel, where I have more than 85 free Photoshop tutorials just waiting for you. So till then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.